No,
Yo, that
no,
took a minute.
but nice. Okay.
Oh man, nice to finally chat to you. It's crazy. We have a song coming out together in a week, and we haven't even like had a proper face-to-face chat before.
For real.
That's technology.
But I'm happy everything worked so
Yeah,
fine.
man, me too. Where are you right now?
I'm right now in Berlin, right in the
Nice,
studio. Maybe you see something, but yeah,
awesome, awesome.
yes. Working. How about you? You're right now
I'm
in.
I'm in Zambia. I'm in my home studio here, so the weather is very different. Look, I'm wearing a t-shirt. I can see it's pretty cold over there. But tell me your story. So you are Congolese. I'm guessing your parents are Congolese, but you were born and raised in Germany.
Yeah, right.
That's pretty dope. And so you have this like bicultural perspective in life, right? And you see things through this bicultural lens. How has that affected your life and also your approach as a musician?
hmm I would say for me it's a positive influence. So I have the possibility to see both sides of music, of life, of culture. And for me it's like I try to take off the best things of each side.
Yeah.
And with music it's like I grew up with the music my parents listened in their youth, so it's mostly the Congolese rumba music from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and that's what attached me to go or to deep more into to it on my guitar style. But I'm also totally open to everything Western music, pop music, even house music now, or European house music, I would say, or American house music.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, okay, how can I find my possibility to find a mix, a fusion of these two worlds?
Yeah, and fusion is a beautiful thing. So who would you say are your influences when it comes to like Congolese rumba music? Who do you grow
Yeah,
up listening to?
guys like Franco Luambo Macchiato with his band Tipioki Jazz, Papa Wemba,
Of
one
course.
tracks I really like, Maria, the great homage to him,
Yeah.
and Zaiku Langa Langa. So these are legends from the Congo. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course. And now, you mentioned Afro House, and it's interesting because Afro House brought us together. So just to backtrack, I came across some of your viral videos, probably throughout the year. I'm like lying down in bed, shouldn't be scrolling, but I'm scrolling, and I see your content. And obviously, it speaks to my heart because I grew up in Zambia, and I'm Zambian. And growing up, my father would also play a lot of Congolese music in the house, actually, almost always. So Zambia is this melting pot of influence from the north, from Congo, and then influence from the south, from South Africa. And these two influences kind of make up our musical identity and our musical culture. So there's a strong um, relation to Congolese music, although we don't speak French or Swahili
hmm
or Lingala. But you mentioned Afro House, and as an African that was raised in Europe, so as a bicultural African, like me, who's half Greek and half Zambian, what is your view of like the state of the Afro House scene right now? I mean, you've probably heard and seen what's going on. You know the big tracks. You can feel the buzz from where you are. Do you feel like Africa is being represented in the right light? Is this a good thing for Africa? Is this something we should be concerned about? I mean, do we have enough Africans, actual Africans, participating in this wave? What do you think?
hmm It's a very good question. I also got questions about this thing. I think I see it in a positive way.
Yeah,
So we can, so as at this time where Afro House got somehow commercial with artists like Kind of Music or guys like them, it's like okay, we have now the flashlight. The light is now on Africa, so now we can like start something which maybe before was not really a possibility to do. And of course, there could be more African faces, I think, in the spotlight for Afro House. But this is our chance now, I would say.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, evolve our music, evolve our approach. how we can, yeah, find a mix out of the old heritage from our old music to the modern music, and yeah, just create new music and good music, I would
And
say.
maybe that's also kind of how instrumentalists like you that are ambassadors for Africa, you know, ambassadors specifically for your region, in, let's say Central Africa, in terms of the musical direction you pick. It's perhaps for that reason that you're able to really penetrate the scene and this oversaturated um, amount of content that is on social media, and everyone's kind of fighting for the algorithm and trying to please it as best as they can. But
Hmm.
it makes me curious. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, would people be vibing to such African content
Mm.
as they do today? And I
Yes.
don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I don't really know if yeah or not, but I'm just happy that now for myself I can be myself, because
Yeah.
before it was like, okay, I have somehow to adapt to the music which is popular, and was like Western music, and I always played stuff like this, but it was nobody really wanted to hear stuff like this, I think, and I was a bit of afraid to like publish stuff like this, but I think yes, since last year was like, okay, just do things you really like, just do things where you see yourself, and at the end there's always somebody who's into it, and yeah, with the wave of, as we said, Afro house stuff like this, it's
Yeah.
not a perfect moment somehow.
And it really is. I mean, like you said, it really is the perfect moment for Africans to take advantage of the opportunity, to take advantage of this window. I feel like the world goes through trends, right? With the reggaeton trend, like we were obsessed with Latin America, and we still are. It's such a big market, such a powerful market, and incredible music comes out of that continent, especially when it comes to the rhythms and the melodies they have. But I feel like now, for the last few years, we've been in the African chapter. You know, thanks to the West African guys who opened the door with Afrobeat. But then you have these DJs. You got Black Coffee, who've been pushing this sound for decades. You know, essentially a godfather figure in this industry.
Mm.
And it really is time for Africans all over the world to shine, to tap into who they really are and bring that material out so the world can see it and enjoy it. Tell me a bit about how you like your journey through music. Did you have a classical training, a jazz training? You taught yourself? Like how did you get into the guitar?
Hmm. I started even at church. We had our church group, a worship band, where I just had to try to learn via internet, YouTube videos, how to get into it, and it was mostly African guitar because it's an African church with,
Yeah,
yeah, worship songs, and because there was nobody out there who could teach me like African guitar. So I
yeah,
just started to find my way, and it was mostly videos in the French diaspora, where because my French wasn't that good at the beginning, but I just tried to listen to the music and try to mimic it. And then throughout this way, from the church, we started to play on weddings, on birthday parties, on different events, and step by step, just went our way. Yeah,
yeah. That's awesome. So how many languages do you speak? Obviously, German, English, Lingala, because I
yeah.
was Lingala and French.
French and Portuguese also.
Oh wow,
Port-
man! Not Swahili.
Sorry,
Not Swahili.
unfortunately not. But I'm trying to learn a couple of words.
Okay.
Jumbo, Namaskos. Do you speak Swahili? Or
No, man, no. So in Zambia, we have a bunch of languages, but we don't speak any of these three that I mentioned. We have
okay.
over 60 languages, and my tribe speaks a language called Bemba. My Bemba is way too rocky. I need to work on it, but I do speak Greek, English, a little bit of Spanish now. But you know, I get criticized a lot
Mm,
because for the exact same reason. So I'm Zambian and I'm releasing tracks in other African languages, like not our languages. I have some songs in Zambian languages, and I will continue to do records in Zambian languages. But for me, I follow this internal compass that directs me to the most musical languages I can put my hands on. And
okay.
I have I have come up with some conclusions around the region of Africa that we both belong to. So let's say below the equator and below. My top three musical languages are Swahili,
Yeah.
Lingala, and Venda. Venda is a language from the north of South Africa, uh,
Okay.
border with Zimbabwe. And you know, again, I've listed languages here that we don't speak in Zambia. But if I were to answer this question objectively, which I'm trying to do, and just
Mm.
speak as a musician, these three languages are. I mean, I don't even know how people communicate because it's like they're singing to each
Yeah.
other, especially
Yeah.
Lingala. Lingala, you're just singing, man. It's incredible.
Yeah,
Incredible.
the often stranger people when they are listening to us with when I'm talking with friends in Lingala, they're like, "Are you guys singers or something like this?" I'm like, "Nah, we're just talking about
Yeah. But so you
somehow."
get what I'm saying, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
different languages have a different level of musicality. And it's fascinating. And I think it also impacts the kind of music and the culture around that language that is created as a result of the level of musicality. For example, in Germany, you have Schlager, you know, and imagine like Lingala Schlager, like it wouldn't work. It wouldn't
that,
work. You need a tougher language for that. And so it's a beautiful thing to just discover languages and find incredible vocalists who are masters not only of their language but of their craft and work with them. And you know, it's interesting how many songs now I have in Lingala. I think our track is probably my third or fourth song in Lingala. It's crazy.
yeah, crazy, crazy.
Yeah.
Do you know words in Lingala so far?
No, I mean, now I know a few words and phrases from having done all these songs, but
Yeah,
unfortunately, I don't speak it. I mean, I would love to learn a little bit. Today, as I was driving back home from a meeting, I was thinking, man, it would be cool to learn Swahili because I was listening to Malaika. I was listening to like a reggae cover of Malaika in the car. It's like,
yeah.
what a beautiful language. Again, to my point that some languages are just so gifted with how musical they are, and I believe that is a result of the culture that they come from. I mean, there must be some sort of a reflection
Hmm.
of culture because these languages are man-made, right? So a certain group of people who have a certain inclination towards a certain level of musicality made these languages.
Yeah.
But let's talk to the guys watching about our track, Naluki. Tell them what it means. Tell them what the vibe is. And yeah, let's give them some juicy information.
Yep. Naluki means in itself, I'm searching. I'm searching for something, for you, for joy, for happiness, for everything. You can interpret something you feel for it. And it's I'm searching for something, but if I don't find it, I'm also okay. So that's I think that's the main message about
What
Naluki.
what inspired you when you wrote those lyrics? Do you remember?
Mm, yeah, I think I'm this year I'm constantly searching for something or to to achieve new goals.
Yeah,
So I'm setting goals for my life, but I'm also thinking about okay, maybe I don't think about a specific goal, but the way to this goal is also which is my happiness about. So that's why it's not important that I'm searching for something and find it because the way for it it's also fine. I think
yeah.
that somehow, which yeah, in a when I was recording the stuff, I was thinking maybe about stuff like this. Yeah,
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, I'm the kind of artist that believes the lyrics, the message in a song is so important. You know, I feel like we live in a time where there is so much darkness in the world. All you have to do is turn on CNN and then you'll be exposed to the level of darkness. And as artists, we have an obligation to add to the light as much as possible. You know, it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of artists to truly, you know,
mm,
uh, intensify the amount of light we can add to the world and contribute that way. But I feel like that should be an artist's agenda in their own way, of course,
hmm,
um, because I can't think of anything more pure than art. And so a message like this, which is, you know, you are looking for something, you are perhaps a little lost, you
Hmm.
are perhaps not entirely sure where you're going or what life is going to throw at you next. Approaching that state of being from a positive point of view, from an optimistic point of view, I think is very beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm all for that. I'm all for music like that. And I'm just about to drop my album in a few days, my second studio album, of which Luki is the focus track. And you know, throughout the album, the underlying message is hope. Hope on one hand and perseverance on the other hand, which are very related words. But life is not easy. Life is gonna kick you in the ass sometimes. Life is not gonna make sense sometimes. But you've got to be
Yeah.
hopeful.
And
You've got to
like,
persevere. Yeah.
hopefully, yeah, that's
And
true.
you know how the two of us eventually connected? It's so funny. So my mixing engineer is Greek German, you know, and he lives in Berlin. And we met about 10 years ago in Frankfurt, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
There was some sort of a music event there, and we met. We were introduced by a mutual friend who had studied at Berkeley with me, and she was German. And at the time, I was actually living in Frankfurt. So we send each other reels all the time. He's one of my real buddies. You know, one of those
Nah,
guys. Well, you send either
one
cool
guy,
stuff or
yeah.
sometimes bullshit. And one day he sends me one of your reels, and like I said, I'd been seeing your content and had been liking it and everything. But he sent it to me, and it was such a fire video. I don't remember which video it was exactly, and I think I left like a fire emoji or something, and then followed you, and I think you followed me back, and then I slid into the DM. I'm like, bro, this stuff is epic. We need to do something together. And that was it. And then you sent me a few demos. Naluki was the one that I loved the most. And literally a few weeks later, we had the core of the song, you know. So what a fun and quick process. I love it when sometimes things happen so fast.
Yeah, yeah, I see the same for real. So I got a good feeling, and I saw your music and stuff like this, and I thought that's a good fit to get things together, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
like
been cool. And I hear you're working with Unique now, my engineer, right? You guys are doing your own thing as well.
we're playing something, yeah.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
the
He's
plan.
a very good musician. He's really good, you know. And I think what makes an engineer even better at engineering is when they understand the music as well. You know,
Yeah,
you've got to have this holistic view of the industry, specifically around the art. I'm not saying the business so much, but I've met these engineers that don't play instruments, for example.
hmm,
I've met engineers that don't write songs or understand what the construction of a song feels like and the
yeah,
process feels like. But when you do meet people that do it on a regular basis, that understand it, that thrive at it, I feel like their approach to the engineering is very different and a
yeah,
lot more constructive and effective.
for sure.
Yeah, man. And have you been to Africa, by the way?
Yeah, I just came back from South Africa, even from Cape Town.
Ah,
But I
dope.
wasn't that long. It was for 1 day. But
Nice.
last year was in Angola the first time because
Nice.
a part of my family is also from Angola, so Angola Congo mixed. Uh, yeah, it was a great experience. So I have to plan. Yeah, my next trip has to be again to
Yeah, you
Africa.
gotta come to Zambia. You gotta let me know the next time you're in Africa. I mean,
For
it's kind
sure,
of
sure.
neighbor.
We have to fix it.
We neighbor Congo, we neighbor Angola. We got like 8 neighbors over here, so we're very central.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. We're super excited for this track to come out. 1 week left. Now, Luki guys, pre-save that shit,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm excited to see how it does. And just before we wrap up, like any final words for young musicians, aspiring musicians who could be watching this right now, aspiring guitarists or any kind of instrumentalist, some words of encouragement, words of wisdom for them?
I would say fi be fine with yourself and do the music you really like. So do the music where you feel the most, and don't wait for any green lights or something like this. Just start off, and you will end up with people who will support you on your way, because you're like, you're spreading these vibes, these real vibes. So you're not doing something you have to do. It's like you're doing something, you have the passion for it. And that's also a thing which I just learned. So since last year, I would say. So,
Yeah.
and that's the best decision I made so far. And I want to encourage every other artist, every young artist, old artist. It doesn't matter. Just do your thing, and yeah, trust in it.
Awesome, man. Chef Coco, what's up, brother? So I've got a friend who just tuned in. He's a chef and he just opened an amazing restaurant in Joburg. I was at it last weekend and
Okay,
loves the track, man. He was messaging me yesterday and we should get it and be like, bro, when's it coming out? Because he's part Congolese. So
good,
I'm sure he speaks Lingala and it connects to him. So thanks for
good
tuning in, brother. Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. And I feel like although social media, Spotify are overly saturated today, the competition is unlike it has ever been before. The the element of gatekeeping has also been lifted, So on the one hand, we have oversaturation, but on the other hand, we don't really have the gatekeeping that we had in the 90s. You want to record a dope song, a dope album, you've got to go to a big studio, which had a whole Pro Tools setup and spend a lot of money and then get it mixed and mastered. And then you needed to get a label and you needed to print your vinyl or whatever it was. That's all been boiled down to DIY for the most part. You can literally be a bedroom producer and take over the world. And we've got so many examples of that. And I feel like social media can be such a strong gateway for those that have the minimal setup because it's
Mhm.
really just about being yourself, being authentic, and not being shy to share that with the world. So yeah, fully agree, brother. Fully agree.
Yeah.
Awesome, my man. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna first check if there are any questions in here
Mm.
that people have asked us. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been dope. So Tony Afro and I have a record coming out next week called Luki. It's fire, 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 fire.
Yes.
You got to listen to this with a little fire extinguisher next to you, just in case you burn your house down. So go check it out, pre-save it. It's part of my album 33. Much love, guys. My brother, such a pleasure to chat with you, and I hope we can meet in person soon, man.
Yeah, for real.
Cheers, my man. Have a good night.
You too. Bye bye.